Good afternoon. Welcome all. I'm your host, Kendall. We are here on the first episode of the Leaders Only digital show brought to you by Tone Drone and the Ministry of Healing. It's an honor and a blessing, man, to be sitting beside my co-host, which I can call my brother, mentor, and a leader, Samaj Callahan.
Peace, peace.
We here, man, to introduce our show and get our message out there. Our message is going to be brought on topics of come from your heart, our heart, the community, what's going on in society, what's going on in your life, our lives, and things that we suffer from, and things that we overcome. So, with no further introduction, we're here to bring you something excellent. So we're gonna touch on mental health. Our first topic is we're touching on mental health today. Um, the stigma of mental health, and also how to cope with mental health. Samaj is going to read you the definition of mental health.
So the definition of mental health is a person's condition with regard to their psychological and emotional well-being.
So first I dive in with my perspective and give you a little bit about me. I'm 36. Um, I was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I was raised in Virginia Beach, Virginia. I served 9 years and 8 months in federal penitentiaries. I overcame a lot. I am currently a fitness and motivational coach. Um, Also, I'm a chef. I'm currently employed at FedEx Ground as a manager, as an operational manager, and I also run a residential cleaning service. That's just a little bit about me. Now, on the definition of mental health and how I see it in my perspective, right? Mental health to me, basically, I struggle from it, so I just give you from the light of me. Um, I took it as this: mental health is it's a it's a state, right, of imaginary thoughts in your mind that can either detour, alter, or change your vision. Um, it's like a mind game. It can affect you if you avoid it, as far as like avoiding the support, the love, and avoiding the accept your issues and your change. So that's how I took it from my perspective. How do you see it from your perspective, Samad?
Um, Mental health is just the state of, you know, your mind, um, the well-being of it, be it positive or negative. It's just your state of mind, how you're thinking, what's going on through your head, um, and then you go from there. Whether you get it in a positive manner or a negative manner, it's on you. But it's literally where you standing mentally. Where's your mind at?
So it's safe this. All right. So I'm gonna ask you this: um, Has there ever been? So you're an athlete at one, and then going from being an athlete to going into being what you are now, which is an entrepreneur. Did that ever play a mind game with you, or did you ever suffer of being that you didn't make it as an athlete, or is this what you really wanted to do versus a being an athlete?
Um, Me being an athlete, I mean, I just looked at being an athlete as a tool to just get a degree for free. Um, when I was growing up, I wanted to be a professional athlete, but like I wanted to play basketball, and my coach in high school didn't allow that to happen. So I just went and played football because I knew I'd get a free scholarship. when I was in 12th grade, I got an internship with the government, so I knew once I graduated that I would have a job. So, like, I quit playing football in the middle of my tenure and walked off the field during the game because that was the second time a coach tried to have mental control over me by telling me I couldn't play for him and stuff like that. But nah, um, mm, that never affected me. Actually, once I had my event when I was 21, that allowed me to see what I really wanted to do, like how easy it was to bring people together and make money like I was an athlete, but I didn't have to beat my body up and go through those type of things. So, nah, that I've always been mentally strong. Um, that never happened. The stigma. I mean, I know there's a stigma behind mental health, but that's because people just don't understand it. I'm not gonna say they don't know what it is. It's just like people just don't understand it, and they just keep thinking it's negative. But that's just because we live in a negative world. The world is on a low frequency, so the first thing when people hear mental health is, "Oh man, you crazy," or what's wrong with that person. And everybody has issues. Most people just haven't healed from being a child. I see it every day. A lot of people don't want to be adults and make adult decisions. I always say that life is easy. People make it difficult. Um, the interactions with people and the problems that people present, and then how you react is the determination of your mental well-being. Because you could either allow it to draw you in and become something negative, or you could stand firm and try to get control back of your mind. And that way you have positive results even in a negative situation. Like what people have going on in their world and in their mind don't affect me, and it shouldn't affect you unless y'all working together on something. If you was working together on something, then they should be able to start building that mental strength from you rubbing off on them, but them also understanding that they signed up for an obligation. A lot of people don't. Um, a lot of people just don't have self accountability. It's that goes hand in hand with mental illness or mental health. With the I think that's the problem. When people hear mental health, they think of mental illness, and those are two different things.
Right.
But no, not when I was playing sports. Sports for me was just an outlet from what could have led me down a wrong path or could have been driving me crazy in the house. So I gravitated more towards sports in school, so I wouldn't have to go back in the house where there was domestic violence and there was, trauma and disrespect. So sports was an outlet for me just to continue to stay busy. By the time I got home, it was time to eat dinner, take a shower, go in your room mainly. So that window is like everybody get the same 24 hours. Is like how you try to manage it. For me, I tried to load my day up as much as possible, so I didn't even have to deal with that to try to get to tomorrow, because I knew I was going to graduate at some point. So this level, I'll be out of here. In the same way I looked at college, I'll be out of here, then next, and now I'm just like that in life. Like what's next?
Right.
We take it day by day, week by week, month by month, then year by year. But we already in July, so that's how fast stuff moves.
Right. Okay. So now we describe both of them in our from our perspective, and we'd love to hear y'all's. If you want to reach out to us, you can email us at leaders only. That's LEADERSONLY 22 at gmail.com. And also to keep up with us in our shows live and upcoming episodes, please like and subscribe and hit the bell. All right, so the next thing is so it's stigmas on mental health, right?
Mm-hmm.
So most people have their own stigmas, right? So I ask you, what do you think about this? Some people think that mental health is, if it don't concern them, is unimportant.
I mean, I think it's important. Me personally, where I'm at with it is just if people's actions don't match what they telling me that they want or what they say, I don't even care. My mental health is more important than anybody else's. So I'm at the point now where I'm just trying to control myself. I'm big on people telling me things and believing in other people. So when people tell me stuff or that they want to do stuff, I buy into it, and then that would lead me up like a roller coaster and let me
Let you
down.
down.
So now I ask. You get one time. You know what I'm saying? With me, I'll ask. I'll be empathetic because it's something that I can't get out of me. I'm an empath. But you're not going to drain me either. So what you're going through, okay, can we, visit some solutions? If you don't want no solutions, then that means you want to get caught up in your drama. So I'm cool with that. I don't need to be in nobody else's drama. I don't even want to be in my own drama, which is why I'm trying to face all of it that I have to, so I can get it out the way and not run away from it. But everybody's mental health matters. I mean, it dictates your day because you have to interact with people. So it matters, but it just don't matter more than mine.
Right. Okay. So I'll touch on that. I get it because I was in a state of where I felt like nobody cared. I was on a path where I was going through a lot of things and I felt weak at the time. And I with a big family and so much support that I do have, it was like blinded. Like it was like, where is it at the time? Because my mind was so cloudy and my mind was so drifting, and I was going through so much pain and toxic situations, whereas I wasn't even accepting or seeing it. Put it like that. I wasn't even seeing my support, love, and things of that nature. So I kind of like felt like it wasn't important to people, what I was going through. And I went through a situation, and I sent out a text message of how I was feeling to those I love, and it came back in full circle, and it saved me. So that goes to say that people might say things aren't important, or they might feel like it's not important, but some people shadow how they feel so they can protect themselves or protect how other people will view them for feeling for somebody else. Because somebody might not like that person, or somebody might be envious of that person, or that person might not be right for that person, or they just feel that way. So, yeah, I always think it's important, and that's one of the main things that help you cope is with the love and support, man. And don't, like I said, you got to let down your wall if you're sick. Um, so yeah, that was one. And then the next one is the second stigma is how people don't like to talk about their issues. So they don't like to talk about mental health. I'll start this one, and then I want you to give me your perspective. I can say this from a person that came from the situation I overcame, right, as far as being incarcerated. Coming out of that situation, a lot of men and women, but I'm gonna speak on from my perspective as a man, and what I went through, right? Um, Most guys that come out of prison, most of them are coming out of a USP, which is a United States Penitentiary, which is high max. Um, they don't talk about what happened in prison, as far as like all they give you is the warrior or the gorilla or the big bad tough guy. They don't tell you the real about their issues that they suffered from prison. So it's a lot of protecting of ego. It's a lot of protecting of pride. It's a lot of heterosexual issues of themselves. It's a lot of worrying about what other people think. So in that manner, I can understand, but then you got to also think, do you want to be helped? Because like they always said back in the day, a closed mouth don't get fed, so you're gonna be hungry, right? If you thirsty, you're gonna ask for something to drink, right? If you got a headache, you're gonna ask for something to treat your headache, right? So that goes to say, if you're sick, you need to open your mouth and say you sick. Now, that's from my perspective. I'd like to hear yours.
Um, I think I think it's the stigma that, again, me and growing and getting to this point where I'm at. Number one, I don't think that it's a stigma that people don't like to talk about it. Again, I think that's the problem. I think people talk about it too much. They send signals. They tell you exactly what's going on, and even further, their actions. I mean, people actions show you, man. Like when they don't have any patience, when you ask a question and they, eager or they're combative. Um, for me, it boils down to first, how what's your eating habits? Are you willing to be disciplined? Are you willing to be obedient? No, then you're not willing to heal. I don't care no more. God didn't put it on me to be God. You know what I mean? I'm an extension. I'm a resemblance. I'm God and I'm a human. You know what I mean? I'm that special, but I'm not Superman. So I don't have to fix it. At first, I was there, like, man, I want everybody to come, but it didn't do nothing but hurt me. You know what I'm saying? It makes me worse to see people because you want to help. You have the solution. Like somebody give you issues about finance. That's a bulk of our issues. You know. But you just watch people's habits on a day to day. So it's like, man, you like that misery. You like being there because I put my foot down when I was 27. So for people to be like, oh man, you gotta grow up. I be wanting to know when it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm 38. Like 12 more years, I'll be 50. I'm supposed to just sit around and wait for you, man. When I get it right, listen, man. When you get it right, it's gonna be right for your life. But I want to be down with God, so it was different for me. You know what I mean? We were taught at a very young age, right and wrong. We don't have to go deep into the religions and the history and all that. It's like, yo, do you want to do right or wrong? Well, if you do more right, you're gonna get right. So do the work. If you go to the gym and it hurt, well, you're gonna get muscles. You're gonna get ripped. You're gonna get lean. Same thing in life. If you were abused as a kid sexually, I've been down these roads. You know what I mean? So if this is somewhere you've been, you don't have to turn into that. If you seen your mother get beat, now that I've got older, my mother did get hit. Same time my stepfather got hit. Both of them were wrong.
Right.
Leading up to that, there were things that both of them were saying. You know, both of them were just crying out for love. That's mainly where everybody is screaming out for. But that's a big issue too. It's not that they're not talking about it. It's the fact that they over talking about it and you want everybody else to come save you. We got Jesus is coming, the new president. We got all these people that's going to save us, but the mirror is waiting on you to save yourself. You know what I mean? Maybe it's time to shut up. You know what I mean? Maybe it's time for people to just shut up and just go. Like, man, I don't like being in debt. Stop overspending. Like we just seen Dr. Boyce Watkins before we started the show, and he said, live beneath your means. You want to get wealthy, you want to get out of debt, then live like you broke. I don't even care if you make $1 million. If you make $1 million and you get your life down to just your expenses, and maybe your expenses just $10,000, well, you have 990 more thousand before taxes to deal with. You know what I mean? Opposed to making $1 million, having to pay taxes, and you spent 1.5. Well, you're $1 million in debt now because Uncle Sam, all these different things, or being able to just talk about things that really matter. Will Smith don't matter that much in my household. You know what matters? Lil Dante from around the corner not having a father at all. Having parents that's having kids and they still kids, not healing. Again, we talk about it. Misery loves company. Les Brown say so does success. So when we reverse these conversations and say, hey, that's how you feel? Okay, cool. Today, that's how you feel. This cannot linger on for 2 weeks, man. So this today, how you feel? All right, how do we solve that? Maybe we need to go outside and just go for a walk. Maybe we need to practice breathing. Maybe we need to go on a detox. Whatever it is, when you have somebody that want to help you and go through it with you, not just watch you do it. I want to go through it with you. Don't scare those people away because they're not the people who call you to go to the club. They're not the people who call you to go on a cruise. This is people just putting you, like you be asking yourself to just go into more misery because you got too many temporary fixes. And what happened on those temporary fixes? They talk about it. They sit around in circles. I hate my boss. I hate my job. My kids gonna F them kids. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it comes out. Oh man, we got all these expectations on men. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a man, and I understand we have our issues, but it's the expectations of a man who can't go out here and make more than the average, which is $49,000. Why do you have all of these astronomical expectations on somebody who's not Chris Brown, who's not Dr. J, who's not LeBron James? Stop comparing. But this conversation that comes into a relationship, into the household, we talk about it. We talk too much. We seeing too much, too fat. Your Instagram, you got Twitch, you got Twitter, so all these conversations coming. Did you see such and such talk about his girl? The local conversation come, the regional conversation come. Then did you hear what Trump did? Did you hear what Biden? Can you believe this? I just don't care. It's not affecting my day to day, and I just be trying to push that back to people. And I know it'd be harsh, But that's what people need. They need a dose of the truth, yo. We lying to each other. We keep making everybody feel good, but everybody is masking the pain. So if all I do is tell you what you want to hear, you didn't get better, and I lied to you. Well, I feel away for lying to people. Only thing I needed to do was work on my delivery, and that comes with maturity, that comes with growth, that comes with love, with not wanting to hurt people's feelings. But I'm of no service to you just to be a sponge and sit there with my ears open and don't tell you when you're wrong, and vice versa though. That's the other thing. You know, when somebody's asking you to be quiet, when that person is talking nonsense, then you should be able to check them too. It goes both ways. You know what I mean? You can't be a leader. You know what I mean? We can't be the leaders only podcast and show if we can't be able to follow when it's time to too. So it's like you have to pick and choose your battles. But man, some people, most people, because that's why we're in this deep root of depression and lack. So many people running from God and they're relying on man, and I'm just over man. Like I am, man. I'm gonna rely on nature. I'm gonna rely on working out. I'm gonna rely on the commandments. You know what I mean? If it's, you know what I mean, the circle 7. I'm gonna rely on these principles that everybody in every single book is afraid to stand on. Just give me the principles, man. But as far as the talking, I'm all burnt out. You know, I'm all listened out. You know, we've been going. I've been here 38 years, and I've seen people constantly eat the wrong stuff, talk about certain people's fathers, and it ain't got us nowhere. They just go to the grave. Like, who wants to be born to just know we're gonna die, but all you want to do is just be in the pits and be in misery? To me, it just get old, and I don't want to breed children into that and all that. So I put a wall up in front of that, and I will listen. Don't mean I have to hear you. I mean, I will hear you. Don't mean I have to listen. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. And I get it. And that's something that you could tell you simply passionate about. It affects you. And that's what causes, and that's where he said it could do good and bad. It hurts him in a passionate way because he's so passionate about helping others that it messes with his mind when he he tries not to put an expectation on people, but when you tell him something, you say I come to him tomorrow and say, yeah, I want to start this business. Well, guess what? He gonna wake me up tomorrow and say, what you doing about the business? You know, excuse me, but you know, so that just shows that he's passionate, and that goes to show you that the answer to the stigma, people do care.
Right. And they even go even further to piggyback off what you said. I mean, a lot of my mental health was in the negative because, you know, the single mother household. So not having that father, yeah, it played all the way up into my 30s. But you got to realize who's gonna be your father. You know what I mean? God is always gonna be there, and you have to be God, like in the human form. So to even go off of that, it was like a lot of that stuff be like, man, nobody ever cared for me enough to just walk me all the way through it. Nobody said, yo, I can't pick up the phone right now and be like, yo, I have a great idea. I'm moving. My partner and I, we have things going. I can't, yo, you didn't put me in a life insurance policy when I was 15. I wouldn't even be calling you for your money. You know, I could get it from the life insurance policy, but we needed this guidance from our parents, you know what I'm saying? And that's where one of the main things to me is just being able to have that honest conversation. Like, yo, we understand all the crack eras and all. That's what I mean by people talk about it. We 400 years. You know how tired I am of hearing that?
So can I ask this one question though? So do you think that people are born into mental health?
Yeah, it comes before, man. That's why, again, man, people think I'm harsh and all that. It's about what you eating. Before, if your parent was on crack and if your parent ate Doritos and your parent just drank Arizonas, that affects you. You know what I mean? Like, that's you coming through the portal of your mother and you coming from the seed of your father. It sounds, you know, so basic and all that, and it don't matter. But if all you eating is Doritos and this stuff got chemicals all in it and it's there to suppress your God body, it's there to suppress it. It's literally to tear up the temple. You're passing that on to somebody who don't even have any control. Now, what makes it worse is once they get here, you know better. Like, that's my thing with adults. I'm not mad at you or nothing. There's no beef. But protect the kids. Why you got to create another you for? Like, for what? You know what I'm saying? We all going through all this mental health and we depressed and all this. Why are we passing it on to children who don't have a choice? And mainly when they do get the right to choose, they make better choices because they're pure. They don't have the influence of the world. They haven't been here. People don't have to lie to them. They haven't been through the trauma. They literally, you know what I mean?
Fresh.
They literally, that's the way we're supposed to
Fresh.
be. We're all supposed to be trying to get back to being as pure as you were when you
Right.
first were born.
Right.
Where you didn't have all these choices and all this stuff. So yeah, man.
So now we get to the point where we gotta learn some way, and we gotta accept it. You know. All right. Now we at the point where we accepted it. Now how do we cope with it?
Many different ways. You know, first and foremost, changing your diet. You know, if you don't have discipline and obedience, you're just never gonna get there. Therapy. I have a therapist. I'm in there every week. Do not.
You got a therapist?
Yeah, I don't do therapy for the trend though. I
Right.
do therapy to apply it. It's just like reading books for me. I don't read books to tell people I read books. I read books to apply it to my life so I can use it and then be able to teach it. That's what all teachers, all authors were nothing more than teachers. That's why they left it. They left us the clues to pass it on. So yeah, therapy, gardening, grounding, taking your clothes off, your shoes off. A lot of times, man, just riding the bike with no shirt, walking with no shirt. I mean, it was weird, you know, when we were coming up and everybody laughing at our brothers and sisters over there in Africa, you know, because they have the least amount of clothes, but the least amount of clothes you have on, the more you tapped in with the energy and the frequency of the sun. And you know what I mean? When the water, you made up of water. So that's another thing. Drinking the right water, man. Distilled water with lime. That's alkaline water. None of this stuff that's in the stores, you know. How you going to go to the oppressor to heal you and you screaming to be let out of oppression? Well, again, we have to make better choices. That's another thing. Getting out of debt, you know, becoming an entrepreneur, getting humble, saying everything I say that I really want, if I'm going to ask for it, then I gotta stand on it. I gotta apply myself, be ready for it. A lot of people keep praying and praying and praying, no work. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, do you pray? Yeah, I pray. Well, guess what I do? I pray and I work. I overwork. You know, I work myself so much that it drove me crazy because I'm looking around. Like you said, we have a big family, and I'm trying to figure out, well, why the family not working together? It would make a lot of this easier. You know, if
Right.
you just got 30 people that's paying $1,000 because they want privacy, $30,000 a month is going to another family who's getting wealthy. You know, I look at people like the Hiltons and the Sheratons and all these last names. That inspired me. You know what I mean? So that's another thing with mental health. I had to get out of the little homeboy thing. I cut all my friends off. I still love them. Still love them. But you're gone. You gone. If I can't help you, if you can't use me to help you and get better, because if you getting better, I should want to help. Vice versa. If I can't use you for me to get better, then this is pointless. We going against what we were born for. So all distractions, no clubbing, no all that. But you know what that leaves me with? Being a better son, being a better father to the nation of where there's kids. I have more for a miscellaneous expense. We don't even have enough in our community if a miscellaneous expense of $400 came up. That makes me feel good that we can provide that on two different coasts. My business partner's on the West Coast. I'm here taking care of my father, man. It's a true test. So that's in itself, that drives me crazy some days, but it's allowing me to, oh man, get that clarity that I needed. It's showing me how big my heart was, but I know how strong I am, so I have to go through this just so he know. It's really for my father. That's the biggest amount of therapy, is to let him know that I don't hate him. You wasn't there to raise me, but I take on the responsibility of doing you that favor because God told me to. Honor your mother and your father. So if you're gonna do that, then do it. That's my pitch to everything. Do everything. That's how you cope. Do what you say, do what you want, do what's in you. If you bake lemon cakes, bake them every day. You sleeping on your gift, you know what I mean? And you're going somewhere where you dislike, so you putting yourself in it. So everything that I know that was bad about me, I ain't pointing the finger at other people. It don't even matter. Do what you gonna do. But I'm not going to the grave being the same person that was a detriment to the advancement of my family, of my community, and of what I was born to be here for. It really mattered to me. You know what I'm saying? Life mattered to me. A lot of stuff don't matter to a lot of people. I had to say that. I had to mean that, and I mean it. You know, I'm looking younger. You know what I mean? My hair is growing. I'm healthier. That stuff motivate me. You know what I mean? To be sexy for myself. You know, I was in a relationship, plenty of them, where my responsibility was to make people happy, overlove them. I loved them so much that I didn't love myself. You know what I'm saying? That took me to the bottom, and I was at the top of vanity. Right. When it was vain, you go to work on parties and everything's about having my way and having this, man. I went literally through the ringer having 2 pair of shoes, 2 pair of jeans. I made a pact when you was in jail. I never went on a vacation. Never. I ain't been on vacation in 11 years. You've been more places than me, because this stuff means something. Learning how to grow food means something. Because if everything shut down, I don't have a father that's gonna come do it. Nor should they. I'm in my 30s. I should be the father that's doing it and linking up with other people. Well, okay, you got ammo, you got some land. I know how to grow food. I can do this. I got the sea moss. I have the herbs. So if we're not coming together to be interdependent, then you're not doing a service to what you were born for. Just period. So you really intensifying the low frequency out here. So you allowing more depression. You allowing more hate. We spewing hate amongst each other, and love. It has to be the way. And I had to become love instead of looking for it. I ain't gotta look for it no more. I love everything. I love everybody. Don't like everybody, but I love everybody. I love myself.
So the overall coping is love and stand on what you say.
Be honest.
We appreciate y'all. We thank y'all for tuning in. Please subscribe to our channel. Hit the like, comment,
Hit the bell.
Emails
tuned.
for your questions. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We're gonna get better. But it's coming. You know what I mean? Just thank you for tuning in. Everybody who did. When it go out, we just hope that the message finds people in good spirits or bad. But when you're done, we hope that you take something, man. Just something. It only need to be one person. That's it. We did the job if we reach 1. So 1 and 1 is 2.
Thank you. Leaders only.
Peace. Leadership is not letting what you're going through or your world seep into my world. Don't let it spill in. Respect, it's love, it's honor, it's doing what you say.